Welcome to the Game Day Gauntlet, where action hits you in the mouth and the excitement never ceases to amaze. 5 games in 3 hours from action around your league, with 100-yard pick sixes like this. Wichita pick 6 touchdown flyers. Today we begin in rainy Rochester for the Pioneers' home opener against the Hornets. Buckle up, grab your popcorn. The UFL and the Virtual Football Network proudly presents the Game Day Gauntlet. Welcome into VFN headquarters. I am UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine, and welcome to the Game Day Gauntlet. Today is week 3, and we've got 5 games for you over the next 3 hours. We start with Salt Lake City and Rochester. The Pioneers struggling offensively at 0-2. They're trying to climb out. Phoenix is struggling with turnovers. Can they upset Austin on the road at 2-0? We've got Miami and New York, the big game of the afternoon slate at 3 p.m. Eastern. Who's going to remain undefeated? And then can Chicago get off the schneid? They're trying to avoid 0-3 as well. They host New Orleans. Here we go from Rochester. It's the Pioneers and the Hornets getting us underway today. It is ugly weather for a home opener. Rochester doesn't mind as they go for the upset today against the Hornets. Rochester coming out in their all red today. Salt Lake in their all white. The Pioneers have struggled in the red zone. They have struggled pushing the ball down the field. Major emphasis on those two things today for Rochester as we get underway from New York. We'll have another game in New York City coming up a little bit later. Welcome to everyone in the chat. We got Zach Holdorf, Chris Clips, Skips in the house, Ray, DJ Woods, Mike Daggs. The kickoff is booted and we're underway. Damon Simeon is here, Adam Wiseman. All of the UFL fandom. Hey, how about Rochester, Dejan Wright on that kickoff return? He is the first special teams demon of the UFL. He got 99 change of acceleration, or change of direction, 99 elusiveness. I should say acceleration, 99. Elusiveness, 99. And we'll see if Dejan Wright can provide Rochester with a spark. They're actually going to start with a handoff to Ronnie Everidge, who was a hot topic this week as he was getting way too many touches in a 2-minute offense. Another point of emphasis for Rochester. They have really struggled to make anything happen offensively, really, over the first 2 weeks of the season. The season is young. Salt Lake trying to shake off a very difficult second half against Dakota, where they fell apart last week, 41-13. That's Casey Mears with a 6-yard carry that sets up a 3rd down and 3 for the Pioneers. Robert Brady's in the house. Ronnie Shanahan is here. Portia Henson here as well. Matt Wilson going to throw on 3rd down. It is caught down the field, and that's Dejan Wright with the catch for 18 yards. A good start for Rochester through the air and offensively overall. Brooke O'Neal on the tackle for Salt Lake. The Salt Lake Hornets welcome Dan Taylor, nicknamed the Bull, at linebacker today. He's wearing number 54. O'Neal wearing 24, just lit up right on that last tackle. Dejan Wright just 37 yards on 2 catches last week. Of course, the whole offense really has been struggling. Casey Mears did get over 100. She goes in motion. It's a little bit too late, though, and Wilson's going to get called for delay. Ugly weather here in Rochester. Rain is also expected. It's a light rain here in Rochester today, but some heavier rain is expected tonight in Minnesota, where the Chippers are welcoming in the Dakota Rhinos. Otherwise, of course, St. Louis is inside. Chicago is inside. Austin and New York look good today. Wilson over the middle. That one is incomplete. He was looking for Dejan Swan. Matt Wilson last week, 15 of 22 for 126 yards, but he also had 104 yards on the ground and 9 carries. Mears went over 100 yards on 23 carries. Salt Lake's defense gave up a lot of big plays in the second half last week. 3 plays of over 50 yards that went for touchdowns in the second half. And an awkward handoff, but a nice slip from Casey Mears inside. And Mears will set up a 3rd and 5 for the Pioneers. Another tackle there from Brooke O'Neal. Third down and 5. And Rochester keep the drive going on the 42-yard line of Salt Lake. This is Matt Wilson firing. Caught. Dejon Swan down to the 31-yard line. And Wilson is 2 for 3 for 30 yards. Everything looking downfield. Vegas and St. Louis is coming up next on the Game Day Gauntlet in about 15 minutes time. You know we got you covered. Tackle made by Giorgio Lewis. Check that. Aaron Willis at corner. 2 30s on our roster. Matt Wilson changing up the formation here. Flips everything, then hands it off to Mears, and then Mears just gets walloped in the backfield. That is Nixon on the tackle. We know we got a Nixon on our roster. But Nixon eludes us at the moment.
Here we go, set, 60-yard.
2nd and 13 after the 3-yard loss. 8.5 to go in the first quarter. Going to hand it off to Ronnie Everidge. Everidge going to pick up 4 more. Rochester keeping their balance. It's been up to Matt Wilson on the last couple of third downs. 4 minutes in the first quarter, and Rochester has maintained possession. A bunch look to the right side. Wilson going to throw on 3rd down and 9, and Wilson's pass is caught again. Justin Rezai down to the 11-yard line, and Wilson has 3 completions, all on 3rd down to 3 different receivers, and the drive continues for the Pioneers. There again on the stop. Well, no wonder why I couldn't find Nixon. My rosters were flipped. Huh. Amateur hour over here. Roosevelt Nixon on that tackle. Brooke O'Neal was there for another one there for Salt Lake. Handoff to Casey Mears, and she's going to lose a yard. Salt Lake's been pretty stout with the run. Don Mariano with the tackle. There's a look at Dan Taylor, the newest signing for Salt Lake. Six runs, 4 passes. The first quarter is almost half over. Again, Wilson will send Mears in motion. Got caught last time a little short, and with less than a second, Wilson gets the playoff. Toss it to Evan Wood, and Wood scores a 12-yard touchdown. And Rochester's in the end zone on their opening possession. Wilson on a little crossing pattern, and despite the weather, the Pioneers score in 11 plays on their opening drive as Salt Lake's defense continues to look for answers. How about that for the hometown fans in the Pioneers home opener? They've waited too long. Wish they had a little bit better weather. But the extra point is good. 11 plays, 78-yard, 5-minute and 16-second drive for Rochester, making it 7-0 early. Next week, Salt Lake will host Austin, so the Hornets definitely don't want to fall to 1-2 in that game. That's back on the Gauntlet. For Rochester, they are in the Monday night primetime game hosting New York, and they certainly don't want to fall to 0-3 heading into that matchup. And that's a very good point from Skip in the chat. 12 from the 12. And 12 and 7 are your first bingo numbers. Outside or border numbers today. So if you're looking at your card, any number that is on the top line, the bottom line, on the left or on the right is going to net you a bingo win today. And Robert Henson's already complaining about his card. Chris Allure is the running back for Salt Lake. That is correct, Damon. For Salt Lake, Jay Carter was put in a lot of passing situations last week. 26 of 50 for 336 yards and a touchdown, but he also threw a UFL 2026 high 4 interceptions. The handoff to Chris Allure's got a lot of space on the left side, and Allure is all the way out to the 39, a pickup of 15 yards. Allure well under 100 last week, but Mia Pangori and Sauce K each had 7 catches for over 100 yards. The former 140, while K turned in 119. For Rochester's defense, E.K. Vinson, 10 tackles, 3 tackles for loss last week. And, of course, we're watching a new player for Rochester's defense as well, Sam Switowski. And they call him the Tank. He's up front on that right side. Jay Carter's rolling towards him. That pass is complete. Salt Lake is into Rochester territory. That's Mia Pangori for 20 yards in the first down. Pangori, a big-body receiver. It didn't take Joe Allen to bring him down, but instead, bring her down, but Johnny Washington eventually makes the tackle for Rochester. Vegas and St. Louis kicking off in about 9 minutes. Get us going in the double block of the game day gauntlet. But right now, Chris Allure is going to break a tackle, nearly get a first down. 26 yards on his first 3 carries. Tackle made by Simmons. Second and short. Handoff, that is not Allure, but instead that is Lakeem Hopkins, who comes in and heavier down looks. Washington with another stop. 4:08 to go in the first quarter. Salt Lake on their opening drive. Two to either side, going to hand it off to Allure again, and Rochester there to make the stop. That's Carlos Watson making the play. Rochester lost to St. Louis last week 14-9 in a game where they had multiple opportunities to pull a major upset in a very difficult place to play, St. Louis, but were unable to get it done. Off to a good start here today, but Salt Lake's on a mission here at the Rochester 28-yard line. 2nd and 9 for Carter. Carter going to get rid of it with a clean pocket. And that pass is caught inside the 5, down to the 4-yard line. Caught by Lucas Ryan, acquired in free agency. That's his first catch for 24 yards, and it's 1st and goal for Salt Lake, and neither one of these teams having problems in the rain. In case you don't know, there's actually code on the back end of programming that actually lowers the average score in a severe weather game by a certain amount of points, and you can adjust that through the back end code. So given the fact that we're expecting a lower scoring game today, a good start for both of these offenses as Allure is going to be dragged down at the 4-yard line. Your petition is no good here. 2nd and goal at the 4. 2:05 to go in the first quarter. Hand off, and look out. There's 4 different Pioneers coming in hot to drop Allure in the backfield at the 8-yard line. That play stood no chance, and now Salt Lake is faced with a 3rd and goal. Yes, the weather is nerfing your bingo potential, but you know what? New York's got to get some better weather, don't you think? Third and goal at the 8. 1:35 to go. The train horn is blaring. As Carter goes to the end zone, there's a flag as Lucas Ryan went to jump up and was interfered with by Champ Brown. So that's going to put it first and goal on the 1 as Salt Lake's opening drive continues. Pangori's in the slot. Handoff. That's Hopkins. Touchdown, Salt Lake from the 1. Both Salt Lake and Rochester score on their opening drives, and we're an extra point away from being tied at 7. Good blocking up front. Hardaway clearing a path as Carlos Watson was limited severely on that one. And a side bump from Matt Ryan at right tackle. That was a 10-play drive to counter Rochester's 11-play drive. 8 runs and 2 passes for the Hornets. 7-7 with 1:26 to go in the first quarter. And we're off to a good start. 1-7-12. Your early numbers off your bingo card, and it is early. And we know the action is going to heat up. Hopkins, the touchdown vulture from Chris Allure. Mojo McClain. Skip like that one for the Hornets. Rochester, a couple penalties in the opening quarter, and they will get a chance to make it 2 for 2 on their next possession. Vegas coming up off of that incredible comeback win over Dallas last week. They were brutally assaulted in the first 5 minutes of that one by Dallas's passing attack. It was quickly 14-0, and then Vegas clamped down. St. Louis, of course, beat Rochester 14-9 last week. They feel like week 1 was taken from them by Dakota for a number of reasons. Dakota made some unbelievable plays in that one and are still undefeated. But St. Louis, more than anyone probably, believes they should be 2-0. There goes Casey Mears all the way down to the 42-yard line, and then Brooke O'Neill grabbed her face mask on a personal foul penalty that'll tack 15 more on as Rochester gets to the Salt Lake 43-yard line.
Automatic first down.
And just like that, Rochester's across the 50 again. Mears got 23 touches out of the backfield last week. And moving the football was not Rochester's problem. It was just getting those points in the red zone, not turning the ball over. Wilson dumps that one short for a pickup of 4. Swan on the catch, 5 of 6 for 65 yards for Wilson. Wilson out of the shotgun. Going to send Mears in motion again. 3rd time they've done it. This time, again, with 1 second on the play clock, Wilson able to get it off. Dumps it off to Evan Wood. And Wood on a crosser picks up a couple more. So Wilson now 6 of 7. 3rd and 4 for Rochester. The whole playbook is open here. Vegas and St. Louis kicking off in about 2 minutes.
50, plant.
Wilson out of the gun. Bunch to his left. And that'll be the end of the first quarter. So Salt Lake 7 and Rochester 7. A really good start to the Game Day Gauntlet here from New York. Well, if you can't like the video, Deli, how about hyping the video? Does anybody see the hype button down there? 3rd down and 4. Matt Wilson dropping a throw. Wilson will fire to the sideline. Caught again. 1st down to the 19-yard line. That is Dejon Wright with the catch. His 2nd for 36 yards, and another 3rd down conversion for Wilson and the Pioneers. Wright does a good job keeping the feet in. That's Luke Butrico. coming in to make the stop, and the countdown is on for Vegas and St. Louis. In the red zone, 1st and 10 of the 19-yard line for Wilson. Dropping a throw. Wilson fires middle, nearly intercepted. Tried to squeeze that one in between two defenders. And that was big number 99, Cologne Malone, at defensive end, dropping back into coverage. I don't think Wilson was expecting that. Just his second incompletion. Can only height from your phone? That's interesting. As Matt Wilson drops to throw, 2nd down and 10, going to the end zone. That pass is knocked away and incomplete. That could have been picked as well. Trevante James steps in the way. Back-to-back incompletions, but 3rd down has been the money down for Wilson and the Pioneers so far. Otherwise, it'd be a 36-yard field goal. 3rd and 10. Play fake. Matt's got a lot of time. Going to take off and run. Matt Wilson looking for the sticks. He's going to slide just short. And that's going to result in a 30-yard field goal for Rochester. So 30 is potentially the next number coming off the board, along with 10. We'll see if the Pioneers can execute. .30-yard field goal for Rochester is down, and it is good. 30 and 10 off the board. Rochester 2 for 2 on their opening 2 drives. They have a 10-7 advantage. It's time for the double box. It's time for kickoff in St. Louis. There's your updated bingo numbers on the screen as the Gameday Gauntlet hits the double box. Welcome to St. Louis, Vegas, as the Rivermen come out in their all blues today with the red helmets, red trim and white numbers. Vegas looking sharp in their all whites with the black helmets, black numbers and red trim. We'll keep an eye on the Hornets' second possession and every possession as the Gameday Gauntlet hits phase 2. And you're right, it is time for the Cam. So here we go from Missouri. One of, if not the toughest places to play in the league, the Rivermen welcome in the Vegas Devils in the second game of our Gameday Gauntlet. As Allure gets a carry, it'll be 2nd down over there. St. Louis and Vegas, 2 playoff teams from last season, so was Salt Lake and Rochester for that matter. And we'll start with Mac Chima at the 25-yard line. No, Charles is not here to read, but he'll be back tomorrow night to read us off the numbers. Until then, I got you. Will Todd has Jack Nitro in the backfield for a loss of 2. Mac Chima last week, 37 of 49 in that comeback attempt against, successful attempt against Dallas. 388 yards, but bizarrely enough, had no touchdowns, no interceptions. He did have 2 rushing touchdowns on his only 2 carries, and 3rd and 1. Rochester gets the stop in the backfield. And the handoff goes to Nitro, and he is blown up. That is Dynamite McCray making the tackle. Not a good start for Vegas. Nitro has really struggled, just 34 yards on 15 carries last week, although he did get into the end zone. So Rochester gets a stop. They'll try to make it 3 for 3 when they get the football back. That's a very good punt all the way down to the 10-yard line. Pretty great coverage as well. Chima on a 3rd down and 14, and Chima is taken down. Mike Rodick on the sack for St. Louis, and Vegas goes back 14 yards in their first 3 plays. Wow. Robert Brady and Colin Douglas were the leaders of this defense last week for St. Louis, as Wilson completes a pass for 5 to the sideline. Robert Brady, 15 tackles, 4 TFLs, and 2 sacks. Colin Douglas, 10 tackles for loss, 10 tackles, a tackle for loss, and a pass deflection. St. Louis has a new receiver on their roster today, Daniel Alvarez, who briefly spent time in New York last year, is now in St. Louis to try to jumpstart an offense that's been up and down to start the season. They're going to get the ball in pretty decent field position at the 38 for their opening possession. It's a 3rd down and 5 for Matt Wilson and the Pioneers. Can they convert again as St. Louis brings some pressure? Wilson runs away from it, gets a 1st down and more. Matt Wilson down the sideline, slides to the 44-yard line, and he's up to 27 rushing yards on the day. Rochester 152 on offense in the first half. Wilson slides to avoid the pressure. Let's go back to St. Louis now. 2nd down and 8 after Junior McCray's run. Karen Koizumi over the middle. That is complete for the 1st down, and it's the first catch of the season for Daniel Alvarez, picking up 10 yards for St. Louis, immediately making an impact for the Rivermen offense as they have a 1st down on their 49-yard line. Hand off to McCray. Going to get a couple. They'll introduce the Vegas defense there. 2nd down and 12 for Rochester. 6:45 to go in the first half. Wilson under center. Going to hand it off to Mears up the middle. And unfortunately for Rochester, they're going to be back in a 3rd and long situation. But fortunately, they've been good in that spot. Joe Malone with the tackle for Salt Lake. That's his 3rd of the day already. Matt Wilson dropping a throw on 3rd down and 9. Going to take off and run again, and fighting for the 1st down. Not going to get there. Dragging defenders is Junior McCray for the 1st down for St. Louis to the 40-yard line of Vegas on the opening possession for the Rivermen. So Wilson on his 3rd carry is going to end up just a little short. Brooke O'Neal there again to make a play. There's another good run and a 1st down for McCray for St. Louis. 24 yards on his first 4 carries. Across the 50, what will Rochester do here on 4th and about 2? They'll punt. First stop of the day for Salt Lake. It's gone touchdown, field goal, and then punt that's slightly shanked out of bounds to the 15-yard line, and that's where Jay Carter will take over. Phoenix and Austin kicking off in about 14 minutes. That's the next game here on the Game Day Gauntlet kicking off. That's McCray again around the right side, and McCray's got 8 more yards. 5 runs on the opening drive. Carter with a play fake for Salt Lake. Gonna fling it down the field, and it is caught on the sideline by Patrick Anderson, and the Rochester bench, including Evan Wood, is saying, no, I don't think so. Let's get another look. Woo, that is close. Anderson, I don't know that he dragged the 2nd foot there. Washington ushering him out of bounds. And Salt Lake is going to challenge. I think they might win that one. 3rd down and 2 for St. Louis. It's going to be Koizumi dropping a throw, firing to the end zone, just shy of the end zone, caught at the 1-yard line. Homer J with the catch. What an opening drive for St. Louis after getting the quick 3 and out. And that play's going to stand. But, yeah, oh, okay, so they originally called it incomplete. Wow, that's crazy. But now they're calling it complete. Salt Lake wins their timeout. I don't know what's going on there. Chris Allure picks up a yard. 1st and goal at the 1 for St. Louis. They're going to hand it off, and stuffed. That is a run for Teray Wright, McCray's backup. He was hit hard by Chandler Bailey at defensive tackle. So now it's 2nd and goal, still officially at the 1, not the 2, bingo people. Toss to McCray. Kick block, McCray breaks the tackle, touchdown for St. Louis. Another 1-yard score here early on the Gauntlet. I don't know what kind of celebration that was. It was like a Squid Game tug of rope situation there from McCray and Daniel Alvarez. But nevertheless, Cumberland is shaken, and St. Louis gets an opening drive touchdown. Chris Phillips, I believe, is Chris Clips in the chat saying, yeah, not good for our defense on the opening drive. A 10-play, 62-yard drive for St. Louis. And St. Louis, Salt Lake, and Rochester get opening drive touchdowns today to start the Gauntlet. Unfortunately, no new numbers there. Play fake for Jay Carter as Salt Lake's going deep. That one almost intercepted. Carter's first incomplete pass of the day will bring up a 2nd down and 10. Coming up in prime time tonight, it is Minnesota hosting Dakota. We expect a lot of rain showers in that one. It'll be 3rd and short for Salt Lake. And then after that, coast to coast, Los Angeles and San Diego. Eric Vincent and John Warren have the call of the first game. Tyler Falk and Ramos Lynn have the call of the second game. LA, San Diego, Battle of California. That comes up tonight on UFL Coast to Coast. This week, more like a central to coast. But you can't win them all. 3rd down and 1. Train horn blaring at the 32 of Rochester for Salt Lake. They're going to give it to the fullback, and no one was expecting that from Rochester. That's going to be enough for a 1st down. That's Doherty on the run. And that pass for Mac Cheam to the sideline was incomplete. The Don is here to cheer on St. Louis. May Carter is here to cheer on Salt Lake. Got to bounce back from last week. Right now the Hornets are on a drive as Jack Nitro cuts it back left. Good move there, picking up 6. Carter firing into the red zone. That pass is complete. Sauce K. Carter now 6 of 7 for 107 yards. There's already 2 minutes and 25 seconds left in the first half in Rochester. A fast-moving first half. That is K's first reception. 3rd down and 4 for Chima, as Chima is going to be sacked again. Mike Rodick with the takedown, his 2nd of the first quarter. Rodick balling for the Rivermen, and back-to-back 3-and-outs for Vegas in the opening quarter. They got off to a really slow start last week against Dallas. Fell down 14-0, but ended up coming back 23-20. They outscored Dallas 20-3 in the second half of that one. Carter play fake from 12 yards out, and Carter will throw that one away at the 2-minute warning. Rochester with a 10-7 lead over Salt Lake in a fast-moving first half. Back-to-back 3-and-outs for Vegas to start the game. They'll have to punt it away. From the 27, and bouncing off a couple of players, Angel Maldonado. That pass is way out of bounds from Carter. So now it's 3rd down and 10 from the 12-yard line. Bingo players hoping for not yet another 12-yard touchdown. 3rd and 10 for Salt Lake as Carter fires, caught, and at the 1-yard line, Sauce K is ruled not to be in. That was about as close of a call as you can get, but we've already had 2 1-yard touchdowns today already. Can we get a pylon cam on this? This was very close. We got it from the other way. I don't really see any part of K, including the ball, crossing the end zone.
Here we go.
Vegas officially has minus 18 passing yards right now. 1st and goal at the 1. Carter's going to throw it. Carter looking and sacked. What was that? Simmons with the sack for Rochester, and it's 2nd and goal back at the 5. Mojo saying Allure needs a touchdown. I would agree. Allure didn't have any last week. And I don't think he scored in week 1 either. Hand off to McCray for St. Louis. It's going to set up a 3rd down there. So Carter now out of the shotgun on a 2nd down and goal. Carter from the 5. That is caught at the 1. Oh, my goodness. That is horrible. Down at the 1 yard line, Joe Allen again saves a touchdown. There's a good look right down the line. Here's what we were looking for on the last play. Wow, it doesn't get closer than that. Allen saves another touchdown. St. Louis fails to convert on 3rd down, so Vegas gets their first stop of the day, and St. Louis will punt it away. So now again, we're at the 1 yard line in Rochester. 3rd down and goal at the 1. Handoff, Chrysler, touchdown, Salt Lake. There's Chrysler's score and the first lead of the day for the Salt Lake Hornets. Let's check back in with Vegas, who's got negative 18 passing yards and has really struggled in the first quarter against this spectacular St. Louis defense. That is a catch for 21 yards, and that'll get him out of the negatives. Mike O'Neill with the reception for 21. And this extra point will finally give us a new bingo number here today. That kick is good, so 14 is your next number off the board. It's been a slow start for bingo here on the Gauntlet. We hope it picks back up, or it picks up, I should say. Matt Wilson looking on the bench, has 1 minute and 1 second and 3 timeouts to work with. Nitro takes the handoff straight up the middle, picking up 9. That's his best run of the day. Sets up a 2nd down and 1 at the St. Louis 46-yard line. Phoenix and Austin kicking off in about 5 minutes. Second and 1 at the Riverman 46. Chima straight back, clean pocket, fires on a crosser. That is complete. That's David Glidden down to the 40-yard line. To the 41-yard line of St. Louis, Will Todd's 2nd tackle. This looks to be the final play of that first quarter, with St. Louis up 7-0. Quick throw to the outside. Ethan Flowers, as the corner went for the pick and missed the tackle. That picks up 15 yards. And that's the end of the first quarter in St. Louis. All right, back to Rochester. 1 minute to go in the first half. Wilson going to take off and run. Pioneers have all 3 timeouts. He gets around the corner and a block, and is going to get out of bounds as well. 50 yards on his first 4 carries in the first half, as Chima's pass is incomplete. Now 3 of 5 miscommunication there with the receiver. Wilson was looking for and got that block around the corner from Evan Wood. Almost teasing the defender there as to what they should do. Jack Nitro breaking off a tackle. Nitro slipped back and actually went backwards and is going to be 1 yard short of the first down. So 3rd down and 1. Nitro got a little greedy there and ends up short of the sticks. 5 runs and 5 passes. Just the 11th play for Vegas today. We're already into the second quarter. Send a man in motion. Down to 2, down to 1, and a delay will make it 3rd and 6. Wilson to the sideline, almost intercepted. That is a tough pass to complete. So Vegas had a first down. Nitro goes backwards, makes it 3rd and 1. Then a delay penalty makes it 3rd and 6. Vegas shooting themselves in the foot. 3rd down and 6, 28 seconds to go for Rochester as Wilson's pass. Wow, that was dangerous. And Jack Nitro out of the backfield. It's going to be a whimper of a finish to the drive for Vegas. That was a cluster. Wow, almost picked. Dejon Wright does a nice job of just bringing that one in on the sideline. Pretty throw, but not nearly enough for the first down. That's the opposite of what we've seen from Rochester here in the first half. And with 25 seconds left, Pioneers did not need to use any of their timeouts. Their drive will not result in points, so they will punt it away. And that punt, oh, the field goal is blocked in St. Louis. So a 39-yard field goal attempt. Oh, my goodness, Vegas. That was about as poor of a finish to the drive as you can have. You had a first down, your running back goes backwards, then it's 3rd down and 1, then a delay of game, then the 3rd down pass is short, and then the field goal gets blocked. St. Louis's defense and special teams do it all as Chris Allure and the Salt Lake Hornets look content to run out the first half, up 14-10 over Rochester in a very good game over there thus far. I think Vincent had that last tackle. That he did. Koizumi was looking deep there. That is an incomplete pass, so 2nd down and 10 for St. Louis. 77 yards for St. Louis, 44 for Vegas, as Salt Lake and Rochester have hit the half. The countdown is on between Phoenix and Austin. From beautiful Austin, Texas today, Junior McCray, 12 carries, 52 yards. You see the first half stats in the upper right-hand corner. 82 total yards of offense for Rochester, not too shabby. Evan Wood with that early touchdown, but Rochester's not found the end zone since. Homer J open on a 3rd down and 6, but the pass was a little off target, and Vegas's defense is going to get another stop. That is Avery Cumberland on the tackle for the Devils. Last week, Angel Maldonado for the St. Louis offense, 91 yards, but on just 2 catches. He had a touchdown. St. Louis will have to punt. Vegas will get the ball back. Here we go in Austin, as the Lone Stars in their black, red, and white today taking on Phoenix in their orange, white, orange combo. That is a pretty uniform matchup today in Texas. Austin 2-0. They have been the darlings of the 2026 season. They humiliated Chicago in week 1, 66-17. Shai Ronnie set a bunch of QB records, and then last week needed a comeback win, 10 points in the final 4 minutes to beat Los Angeles 30-27 in the final 30 seconds. We're following 3 games now in the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st quarters respectively as the game day gauntlet rolls on. Surprisingly, only 6 called bingo numbers, and that means that they're going to come fast and furious probably in the triple and the quad box just to upset me. Jay Carter deep down the field, caught by Mia Pangori. At Villa on the first play of the second half, or one of the first plays, goes for 70 yards and a Salt Lake touchdown. Carter whips that one to Pangori, and when the corner fell, that stood no chance. So that's an over 50 off the cards. And we'll see what happens with this extra point, but Pangori in the end zone for the 2nd time this season, 140 yards last week. And that blows things open for Salt Lake. They know all about that. They collapsed in the 3rd quarter last week against Dakota. As Nitro on the replay got that up to near midfield. Phoenix has the football first. It's DJ Simeon on the carry. It's going to be a quick 3rd down for the Skyhawks. The extra point is good, 21. And over 50 off the board. As Hugo gets a little spicier. Well, just like that, Rochester finds themselves down 21-10. We're going to go to St. Louis, where Nitro on that last reception on a little Texas route for the Vegas squad is into St. Louis territory. 3rd down for Joe Tillo. That pass is complete. 1st down to the 37-yard line. That's his first completion of the day. Matias Sansbino with his first grab for 11 yards. Hydrations check from JW. Okay then. Mac Chima play action. 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. Chima going to take off and run. Again, just 2 carries for 2 touchdowns last week. He picks up 6 yards. Well, now Rochester, after feeling pretty good about how this game started, they're in some trouble, and Wilson's pass is almost taken back the other way. Dan the Bull Taylor, the newest player on this Hornets defense, making the deflection. It's a first down for Phoenix near midfield. Second down and 9 for Vegas after a pre-snap penalty. A handoff to DJ Simeon for Phoenix gets him into Austin territory. Simeon last week got the run game going. 84 yards, Mariano with the TFL for Salt Lake. 84 yards on 16 carries for Simeon, and he did get in the end zone. Second and 5 in Austin territory. Chima now on a third down and 7. In the upper right-hand corner of the screen. That pass is caught to the 13-yard line. There's another pre-snap penalty. This one on Phoenix will back him up to a second down and 10. Maddox with the catch for Vegas. They are now in the red zone at the 13-yard line. Wilson on a third down and 12 is again going to take off and run. And what is Matt doing? Juking in the backfield and losing a yard. What has gone on with Rochester? They looked so good early on in this one, and they have sort of slipped back into their old ways here over the last half a quarter or so. Mac Chima inside the 10 down to the 3-yard line. That is Ethan Flowers, good enough for a first down. Phoenix on their opening drive over 3 minutes long now has the ball to the Austin 37-yard line. Second and inches from the 3, Jay Carter. 10 of 13 for a touchdown. That is a 3-yard score for Vegas, and they are in the end zone for their first points of the day. That is the backup for the Devils, Dedrick Wright. We got Dedrick Wright, Teray Wright playing right now on the Gauntlet at the backup halfback position. Tillo's pass is intercepted. Oh my goodness. Another one for Tillo and another major score for Austin. A 66-yard return that is over 50 already off the board. Curtis Fitzgerald. And the nightmare for Phoenix continues. They were driving down the field, looking pretty good. Pangoria across the 50 for Salt Lake. First down to the 48 for Rochester. And Fitzgerald takes that one all the way back to the house, looking for DR Simeon, and Tillo threw it right to him. So Vegas gets the touchdown with 4:41 to go. Makes it 7-7. 3 is your next number off the board, albeit in an unconventional fashion. The extra point for Austin is good, and more 7s on the board as Chris Allure will take that to the 45-yard line. Phoenix, a playoff team from last season, 0-2. They got a big game today against 2-0 Austin. Joe Tillo was 31 of 47 last week for 400 yards, but had 3 crucial interceptions to go along with 3 touchdowns. Nice stop in the backfield for Vegas's defense. As Rice on the tackle. Third down and 8 for Salt Lake. Rochester in desperate need of a stop here, as the Hornets have scored the last 14 points of that contest. Carter on a third down, open again, down to the 28-yard line. Allure out of the backfield. Handoff, Junior McCray, one man to beat. Beautiful run there from St. Louis as Phoenix gets the offense going again. DJ Simeon on his third carry, picks up 4 yards. Joe Allen and company combo for a stop for Rochester, but their defense has become incredibly leaky here recently. They flip that one out to Pangori, who breaks a tackle, and Pangori getting down to the 23-yard line. This is Karen Koizumi to the 41, picking up 4. 3.5 to go in the first half in St. Louis. It's a third down and 5 for Phoenix. And Joe Tillo's pass is caught near midfield. It'll be a third down for Salt Lake coming up as Hopkins gets his fourth carry. Third down and 2. E.K. Vinson with his third tackle. Phoenix certainly having no trouble moving the ball. Simeon with that last reception. Okay, third down and 2 for Salt Lake. Can they convert? Chris Allure, no. Stood up at the 19-yard line, so a 36-yard field goal is possibly coming, and there he is, big number 99, Swatowski, the tank, with the tackle in the backfield on Chris Allure on third down. Will St. Louis go for it? Nope, or Salt Lake rather. They will punt it. They will they will kick a field goal. 36-yarder for Salt Lake is almost blocked, and the kick is good. 36-24 off the board on your bingo cards. Vegas is going to get the ball back. They have weathered the storm in St. Louis, now 7-7. They got the football. Tillo deep down the field to the Austin 26-yard line. 8 of 10 for 80 yards, sans Bino's third catch, as Phoenix moves the ball into scoring position at the 26-yard line with 4:48 to go in the first quarter. Hand off to Nitro. He gets 7 more, up to 51 yards on 9 carries. Rochester's got to get going. 17 unanswered. Dejon Wright, what can he do in the kickoff game? He has not yet found the explosivity. DJ Simeon with a carry up to the 19-yard line, picking up 7. So now Phoenix is in the red zone. That's where we go with our audio. 2nd down and 4 for Vegas right now, as Chima will fire. That one is bobbled around and incomplete. 3rd down coming up for Vegas. 2nd and 3, Tillo in the red zone. Pass is caught into the flat. Simeon says, "You're not taking this one back to the house." And he rumbles and stumbles all the way down to the 10-yard line. First down for Dijon Swan and Rochester. They move the chains up to the 39. 3rd down and 4. A check down Nitro. I do believe he did get the first down. Yes, he did. First down for Vegas. At the 10-yard line, handoff Simeon. Nothing doing. Actually lost a yard. Wrapped up in the backfield by big number 90, Theodore Blackman of Austin. Austin, a playoff team last season, but one and done, lost to Los Angeles. Wilson on a 1st down and 10, going to take off and run after he faked the screen and lost the ball. Picked up by Don Mariano of Salt Lake. The first turnover of the day for Rochester, and they just continue to get a little bit worse every minute. That ball forced out at around midfield. Yeah, it's out. And Mariano scooped it up even before it hit the ground. Salt Lake with even more momentum as Matt Chima gets it down to Ethan Flowers into St. Louis territory. There is 1 minute left in that first half. Vegas has all 3 timeouts. 3rd down and 11 for Phoenix in the red zone. So a couple of games of consequence right now. 45 seconds. Chima dropping a throw. Tillo's also dropping a throw on 3rd down. That pass in the end zone, intercepted. Picked again. There goes Austin. And, could not make the touchdown. Malik Torrance in his first UFL game with an interception at the goal line. And another drive for Phoenix comes up empty. Looking for Chris Andrews. The Skyhawks getting murdered by turnovers in the early going of this season. Torrance in his first UFL game with the interception. And on 3rd down and 8, Vegas has 18 seconds left. Now they're going to call a timeout. It's 3rd and 2 for Vegas, 7-7. They have 2 timeouts left, and there's 18 seconds remaining. Shy Ronnie with a play-action fake all alone past the 50 of the 46-yard line. That's Mike Churchill. That's the first throw of the day for Austin's offense. Austin's hasn't been on the field. Their defense has been on the field the whole game. That pass is incomplete for Vegas, jarred loose. Deep shot down the field for Salt Lake is complete to the 21-yard line. Jay Carter is slinging it today. 311 yards of offense for Salt Lake. Patrick Anderson with the catch on the sideline, and yeah, that's good. Look at that hit from Will Todd, jarring the ball loose from Flowers. So now for Vegas, this is going to be a 50-yard field goal. Austin's got a first down to the 33 from 50. Vegas's kick is good. So we've got over 50 and 50 now off the board on your bingo cards. And a touchdown for Salt Lake. That is Patrick Anderson. And Mike Woodstone is fighting for the end zone and getting to the 6-yard line for a first and goal, Austin. Gonna have to get the number on that touchdown reception from Patrick Anderson. That is a 21-yard score for Anderson. 21 is already off the board. Woodstone almost got away for an extremely impressive touchdown run, but Austin's trying to once again capitalize on a Phoenix turnover with 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. The extra point for Salt Lake is up and good, and Salt Lake has scored 24 unanswered points in this ball game. They have opened it up against Rochester after the Pioneers got off to such a hot start, but Jay Carter has been hotter. Koizumi's pass is incomplete with 4 seconds to go in the first half. St. Louis held Vegas to negative 18 passing yards for almost the entire first quarter. But Vegas has weathered the storm. They now lead St. Louis 10-7 just before the break end of the first quarter in Austin. This pass from Koizumi is incomplete. There's 1 second left as St. Louis is playing with fire. Can Phoenix get a stop? This is Austin's opening drive of the game. You look at Matt Wilson's numbers today, 11 of 16 as Koizumi's incomplete again. For 113 yards and a touchdown, no picks for Wilson. As Mike Woodstone jukes and a flag at the goal line. On the one hand, it prevents a touchdown as Mears picks up 10 yards. So you get the first half numbers, just 36 passing yards for St. Louis in the first half. It prevented the touchdown, but it's still going to be first and goal at the 1-yard line for Austin. Matt Wilson on a second down and inches, fires open. Evan Wood down to about midfield. Play fake. Ronnie going to be sacked. That is Isaac Green on a safety blitz coming in and taking down Ronnie for a loss of 9 yards. Second and goal coming up at the 10 for Austin. First down for Rochester with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. This is Mears taking off and running, getting to the Salt Lake 42-yard line. Miami and New York, a battle of unbeatens. The premier game today on the Gameday Gauntlet kicks off in about 3 minutes. And we will officially be in the quad box. Make note of those bingo numbers. They won't return on the screen as Woodstone comes out of the backfield with a 10-yard touchdown. They won't come back onto the screen until we get back into the triple box. Make note of the numbers so far as Austin's up 13-0 thanks to 2 interceptions from their defense, including Malik Torrance's first career interception in his first UFL quarter. Let's go to Rochester, where Wilson has a 3rd and 5. He's going to take off to run again. Again, he's got man coverage on the outside. And again, he's going to pick up the first down. 66 yards on 7 carries. Wilson taking advantage of that man coverage out there as Webster's extra point is good for Austin. 14-0. Phoenix just got to pull it together. 2 turnovers on their opening 2 drives, and Austin has 2 touchdowns off of them. That's what good teams do. Koizumi finds McCray in the backfield, and Vegas is all over that. 72 yards on 16 carries, but McCray bottled up for much of the day. Now a 3rd down and 7 for St. Louis in a battle of 1-1 teams. Matt Wilson dropping a throw on 1st and 10 over the middle. That's caught. 1st down to the Salt Lake 20-yard line. Evan Wood with the catch. Koizumi on a scramble on 3rd and 7. That is her first carry of the day. Haven't seen Koizumi running as much this year, but it's going to be short of the 1st down. Vegas gets another defensive stand. "13's off the board? Why is 13 off the board? Was that the, what am I missing? I believe that Austin touchdown was from 10 yards out. This is Wilson on another scramble down to the 15-yard line. Somebody help me out here. What was the 13 for? Or is Ernest just messing with my production? Rochester's in the red zone. Mears, beautiful spin inside down to the 10-yard line. Chima's pass is incomplete. Well, we'll figure out what Ernest McCray is talking about in a moment. But right now, we hit the quad box, and New York and Miami are getting underway. Rochester's in the red zone right now. We send it to New York, where Miami is wearing their all whites, which is not something they normally do on the road against the All Blacks of New York. 2nd and goal, no huddle offense for Wilson from 11 yards out. That pass is incomplete. Oh, what a big hit from St. Louis's defense. The Austin touchdown was from the 13-yard line? I thought it was from the 10. Yeah, it was from the 10. Y'all are killing me. 3rd and goal at the 6. Wilson's pass incomplete. Looking for Evan Wood. So Miami and New York kicking off. Phoenix is going to have to punt it away on a 4th and 15. They do nothing with it on the 3rd drive, although no interception. Let's go as New York kicks it off. Let's go 3rd down and 8. Vegas, St. Louis. Chima dropping a throw. That pass is caught. 1st down for Vegas. Mike O'Neal near midfield. Chima now 15 of 21. Just the 2nd offensive possession for Austin today. 4th and goal at the 6. Rochester going for it. Wilson's pass is bobbled around and incomplete. Down 21. A field goal really doesn't do much for you. And Rochester's going to come up empty. That ball looked like it had a chance to be caught, I think by Reside. Watch here again on the replay. Goes up for, bouncing around. Yeah, Reside had a chance. It was originally intended for right. Turnover on downs for Rochester. And they're going to have to play a lot of defense in the 4th quarter if they're going to want to come back in this one. 2nd down and 11, rare run for Shirani. She's got a 1st down at the 36-yard line. 3rd and 4 coming up for Vegas. Let's go to New York, where Bullet Bolesky's getting dropped in the backfield. Now it's a 3rd down and 16 for Miami. We got some new players playing right now in Phoenix. Cornerback Vinny Zonka, interception for St. Louis. It's going back the other way. Chima may have just thrown a pick 6 and makes the tackle at the 2-yard line. That ball was taken away by Kadarius Parker, the strong safety for St. Louis, in the first turnover of the day for Vegas. Threw it right to Parker, who jumped the route. 3rd down and 4, Salt Lake, deep shot, incomplete, picked off on a deflected ball. Han Tayumi, and Rochester's got some life with 10:06 to go. Austin's got a 3rd and 4 at their own 42-yard line. Watch this upper left-hand corner. Pass intended for Pangorian, just the bouncing ball. Look at this. Kicked up off the kneecap. What a play from Han Tayumi. Rochester with a bit of life. Miami, not a good start to this one. They go 3 and out. And they have to kick it away. Actually, I think they may have gotten 1 first down on that. So Joe Francis comes out for New York. Vinny Zonka, the new corner in Phoenix. Malik Torrance, we already mentioned, the new corner in Austin. But we've got a Homer J touchdown from 2 yards out. Karen Koizumi with the score, and 2 is off the board. Homer J is into the end zone. Wilson on a play fake. He's got a first down to the 30-yard line of Salt Lake, and Rochester will be in the no huddle. Also for Austin today, playing in her first game, Mika Friday. They call her Princess, and is the younger sister of Theodore Blackman, Mike Woodstone. Evan Wood with the catch for Rochester. That's a 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. 317 yards now for the Pioneers as Wilson is slinging it. St. Louis takes a 14-10 lead, and Wilson is dropped for a 6-yard loss. Roosevelt Nixon with the sack. New York was looking for Mark Anthony deep down the field, but Miami's defense gets a stop. Anthony, I think, may have just dropped that, and that one from Shai Ronnie in the lower left-hand corner as Wilson completes that one to Dejon Wright. Touchdown, Rochester. Oh, Rochester's not done yet. That one was from 11 yards out. Phoenix gets their first stop of the day. So Rochester's got 2 red zone touchdowns. The extra point is good. 11 and 17 off the board. And with 8:53 to go in the 4th quarter, Rochester is, they are not sunk yet. All right, let's go to a 2nd down and 2 for Vegas. Simeon is getting smothered in the backfield. Interception for New York. Bjorn McLean taking it back the other way, all the way to the 33-yard line of Miami. Ethan Flowers also getting Vegas into St. Louis territory, but McLean with the takeaway for New York. 3rd and long coming up for Phoenix. DJ Simeon just 14 yards on 10 carries to start. And how about Ethan Flowers winning the jump ball over Colin Douglas down the field for the Devils. Rochester kicks it away deep, 8:53 to go. They got an interception on their last drive, and they need another stop like that. Chima sacked. That's Antonio Flash with the takedown. The defensive front of St. Louis has all 3 of the Rivermen sacks. 3rd down and 11 for Joe Tillo. Deep ball down the field, and the receiver's ribs are crushed. Robert Henson picking up 16 yards, and now New York is in the red zone as Rochester looks for yet another stop. Look at this hit, lower left-hand corner on Simeon. Brutalized by Brent Owen. Wow, what a hit. -1 yard so far for Miami in the game. Joe Francis from 17 yards out hands it off to Jupiter Jennings, and not much there. Oh, we got some 2nd and longs. Vegas is closest to scoring position. Chris Allure's got a first down and more. There goes Allure. Chris Allure for Salt Lake, 80 yards, touchdown. Hornets. McLean, thank you, Portia. Allure, 80 yards on 2nd down and 15. Sinks the Pioneers ship And there goes Robert Henson, 15 yards for a touchdown. New York's on the board. So 38 is your next number off the bingo card. And then for New York, they get a 15-yard touchdown. So 15 comes off the board as well. Vegas has to punt on a 4th down and long, and that one is shanked out of bounds at the 26-yard line as St. Louis protects a 4-point lead. Austin is back into Phoenix territory. A toss play out to Mike Woodstone is dropped in the backfield. So just when you think Rochester's got a shot, the Hornets score from 80 yards out and extend their lead again with 8:08 to go in the 4th quarter. All right, we got nobody really in scoring position except Austin.
Let's go now. 60 Pittsburgh.
4:28 to go in the first half. 14-0. Lone Star's on top. You look at Wilson's numbers in the upper left. Not too shabby. Mike Woodstone has some space to the outside. It's going to be 3rd down and 5. New Orleans, Chicago kicking off in about 10 minutes. Wilson's pass nearly intercepted. It's just his 8th incompletion of the day. 3rd down and 5 for Austin. Can Phoenix get a stop? Shy Ronnie, that is caught down to the 20-yard line. Nico right way. Ronnie 6 of 8, 91 yards. It's almost halftime because they haven't been on the field much. Rob Crone to start the game for Miami. 0 for 3 and a pick. Not the start Miami had in mind here in the early going of the first quarter. And off to Boletsky and only a yard there.
Here we go. 15, Lonnie.
Wilson dropping a throw on a 3rd down and 7. It's caught, and the drive stays alive for Rochester. Fresh set of downs for Austin. Ronnie going to the end zone. That pass is out of the back of the end zone and incomplete. Been a weird game in Austin. Phoenix drives the ball a lot on the first 2 drives, but they end in picks. And then their next 2 drives, they go 3 and out both times and can't do anything. Wilson with a play action fake. That pass is caught. One-on-one coverage. Dejon Wright having himself a day. Wilson now 21-29. That pass caught by Mika Friday for the 1st down and goal for Austin at the 4. Friday's first catch of her career goes for 16 yards. Wilson checks that down. We'll stop the clock momentarily with 6:54 to go. This is Crone to the sideline, caught by Boletsky. Nice grab. 1st down, Miami.
Come on, set. 90 Wolf.
No huddle for Wilson. Play fake. Wilson, incomplete. Ronnie, 1st and goal at the 4. That is jarred loose and incomplete. Vegas gets a stop, but St. Louis is going to pin him. Oh, look at Salt Lake. Touchdown, Salt Lake on a pick 6. And that is Dan the Bull Taylor in his first game as a Hornet defender. Gets a pick 6. That one is deflected. It looked like maybe off a foot. Touchdown, Austin. And now the Gauntlet is really popping off. That's a 4-yard score, but how about Dan Taylor opening up a can on Rochester with a pick 6 for the big fella. And there's a booth review in Austin. I don't know that that is going to stand, that touchdown from Woodstone from 4 yards out. The return yardage we're trying to get on Taylor's first ever interception, going for a pick 6. What a way to make your debut in a game. Shout out Dan Taylor and welcome to the UFL. That touchdown was overturned and Woodstone gets a 1-yard score. That return for Dan Taylor was 78 yards, and it's 45-17 Salt Lake. They have had the big play magic in the second half. So Woodstone makes it 20-0 Austin. And Miami is now up to the New York 32-yard line. That's Bovine Jr. with his first catch. Gains 25 to the New York 32. 6:32 to go in the fourth quarter now. Matt Wilson back to work. That one is caught at the 45. The extra point is good. 21 is already off the board. Man, the Gauntlet is struggling with the numbers today. Mike Rodick with the TFL. He's had a monster game for St. Louis. Down to 15 seconds to go in the third quarter of that one. 2nd and 11 for the Devils. Wilson is going to slide to the 50. New Orleans and Chicago is set to kick off in about 6 minutes because Salt Lake is dominating Rochester here. We'll keep you posted if there's any more scoring in that game, but when New Orleans and Chicago kick off, we will head to Chicago for that one. End of the third quarter in St. Louis, 14-10. It's a toss play out to Beletsky. He is popped. Beletsky just 8 yards on 5 carries. Phoenix has to find an answer here. Down 21-0, but it's still early. They have shown signs of moving the football, as has Matt Wilson, who's up to 279 passing yards. 400 total yards for Rochester in a game they're losing by 28. Buck Wild all the way down to the 6-yard line of Miami. I'm telling you, 45 points in the rain. Super impressive out of Salt Lake as Wilson tried to squeeze that one in, incomplete. 5:08 to go in the fourth. 2-minute warning in Austin. Vegas has to punt. St. Louis gets another stop. That has been a defensive slugfest in St. Louis. Not a surprise. They beat Rochester 14-9 last week. And then they're up 14-10 right now with 11:20 to go in the fourth quarter. Rob Crone, 1st and goal at the 6. Fires into the end zone. How was that not caught? I think that was Buck Wild, the intended receiver, who 9 times out of 10 is going to come up with that football.
Come on, set. 10 logo.
Joe Tillo on a 3rd down and 2 for Phoenix. All day to throw. He had a wide open Sansbino, and he missed him. 2nd and goal at the 6 for Crone. Look at the space to run. He just threw it out of bounds. Crone is not a runner. Had an opportunity there, but he may have been spooked because last week Rob Crone fumbled at the goal line when he tried to scramble for a touchdown. Otherwise, he was 26 of 36 for 312 yards, a touchdown, and no interceptions. From 9 yards away, Wilson is sacked. Crone's pass knocked up in the air, almost caught, almost picked, and it falls incomplete. Now it's 4th and goal for Miami. Karen Koizumi missed her target. 6 of 14 for just 41 passing yards today, but St. Louis leads by 4. 4:07 to go, fourth quarter. Matt Wilson firing end zone, and what a hit! Right on the sideline, Dijon Swan was the intended target. 23-yard field goal for Miami would give us 23 off the board. That kick is up, and it is good. 23, your next Hugo number. Shy Ronnie's got the football back for Austin. This is Ronnie Everidge inside the 10 and down to the 1. Another 1-yard score potentially coming as Brooke O'Neal makes the tackle. Rochester is down to the 1-yard line with 3:45 to play. So Miami gets a field goal with 4:38 to go. We'll go to Rochester to see if they can get something on the board here late. Welcome to B-Dub Jr. 790. And actually, Rochester's just going to kick a field goal. That was an 18-yard field goal, and 20 is also off the board. So 18 and 20 off the board. And as Mike Daggs was saying in the chat, this is not Madden 20. This is a completely recoded Madden 20. It does not play like Madden, I can assure you. So Vegas gets the ball back. 9:58 to go in the fourth quarter. And that pass from Matt Shima is incomplete. Vegas trying to get the offense moving. New York, who lost a challenge early in that first quarter, is back at it on their second drive. Rip QB with the stop on that last one, and the onside kick is recovered by Rochester. How about that? How about that from the Pioneers? Shy Ronnie going to take off again. She's got a first down to the 40-yard line. That's going to bring the end of the first half for Phoenix, who's being shut out 21-0 right now. 14 of those 21 points coming off of turnovers. And with 3:22 left in the fourth, Rochester's got a little bit of life. All right, let's go to St. Louis, where it's 3rd down and 8 for Vegas. That is caught over the middle by Clutch Grab, but he's short of the sticks, and it looks like St. Louis is going to get a stop again. Just 13 yards on 3 catches for Grab. I don't think so, Damon. I don't think they have a forced turnover, and that is part of the problem. Just the turnover differential is maddening for Phoenix right now. 4th and 15 for Rochester. They're going to have to go for it unless they punt it away with 2:58 to go. Again, we'll keep an eye on Rochester and Salt Lake as they conclude, but New Orleans and Chicago is counting down, about 40 seconds away from us switching over to that live action. St. Louis with 8:45 to go in the fourth quarter. They have a challenge on their hands. They're up 4, but Vegas giving them all they can handle. Koizumi's really struggled in the passing game. Austin is going to get the ball to start the second half, and Rochester will relinquish with a punt that bounces in the end zone but almost bounced back out. Deep ball for Mark Anthony is caught for New York. Joe Francis 2 of 4 for 28 yards and another first down for the New York Lightning. That music means we're about to kick off elsewhere around the UFL. It is game number 5 here on the Game Day Gauntlet, in New Orleans is in Chicago today. The Dragons trying to break an 0-2 slide. They're in their all-light blues today. New Orleans in their all-whites. Another stop in the backfield for Vegas' defense. That game is nip and tuck in the upper right-hand corner. Vinny Zonka definitely out there for Phoenix. Maybe I got her number wrong. I have her down as number 20. Number 28. Karen Koizumi taking off and running for St. Louis. That was a replay out to the 41-yard line. There were no changes to the lineup in Phoenix. I think Zonka may play the slot at DB. A lot of star talent there at corner in Phoenix as Wiseman's pass is caught. Got Adam Watts also there in Phoenix, New York. Just hit that field goal. Chicago's got a first down in the New Orleans 48. Look at this screen on first down. Chima almost got sacked, but Jack Nitro's going to have a first down at the 28-yard line. That was a 52-yard field goal for New York that they put through. Over 50 and 10 are already off the board. If for whatever reason Vinny's not out there today, we'll credit you 2,500 points in the shop and make sure that we get that corrected next week. So New York's up 10-3. Chicago and Adam Wiseman at quarterback going to get the ball to start the game. Wiseman 34 of 48 for 363 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 picks last week. Oh, great stop for Phoenix. That is the safety, Isaac Green, with his first TFL, 5 tackles for the Skyhawks, and they get the stop on Austin. The defense tries to hang with the Lone Stars. Rob Crone on a little dump off. It's going to be second down. Clutch grab for Vegas. Has the Vegas Devils across the 50. Austin has to punt, and that punt is shanked out of bounds. You need the full box for bingo today on the Gauntlet. Adam Wiseman dropping a throw. And Wiseman's pass is incomplete on the sideline. And Clutch Grab's got another for Vegas. So the Devils, with 6:22 to go in the fourth quarter, on the St. Louis 30-yard line, are in business right now. By the way, 40 seconds to go in Rochester. It's still 45-20. Rochester does have the football and driving, but still the same score there. Marion was shoved out of bounds. A holding penalty on Phoenix drops him back to 1st and 20. Nothing going right there. 1st and 10 at the St. Louis 30. Mac Chima, deep ball caught by Grab again. It has been Clutch Grab's drive down to the 5-yard line. 1st and goal for Vegas. Rob Crone, first down, deep shot for Miami to the sideline. How was that caught at the New York 15 by Buck Wild? Handoff to Wright. We'll bring up a 2nd and goal at the 5, and New Orleans is dropped for a safety. Chicago pins them back deep on the opening drive punt, and Ray Chapatulis, who had 219 yards rushing last week, is dropped in the end zone for 2 points. 2 is already off the bingo cards. It is 2-0 Chicago. That ball caught by Hill, but a touchdown last week, the tight end 2 for Miami. 3rd and goal at the 4 for Vegas, and they are nowhere near scoring. That again was intended for Grab. Now it's 4th and goal at the 4 with 4:19 to go for Vegas. They trail by 4. Handoff Beletsky, touchdown Miami from 6 yards out. That's a new number off the cards, and Miami is an extra point away from tying the game. 4th and goal, Vegas. Back of the end zone, incomplete. And St. Louis forces a turnover on downs. Dynamite McCray Sr. knocks it away. And the extra point for Miami is good. A final score in Rochester, 45-20. Salt Lake with the win, despite Rochester having 441 yards of offense. The offense at times looked better today, but just not good enough as the Pioneers, who made the playoffs last season, fall to 0-3. Salt Lake improves to 2-1. Ronnie's pass a little low, but caught, and what a move to get up and juke a defender. That is Annie Beaverhausen with the first down for Austin at the Phoenix 42-yard line. So now St. Louis takes over with 4:10 to go in the fourth quarter, protecting a 4-point advantage as Vegas looks for a stop. Simeon looking for a 16 and a 32 to complete his Hugo card. Koizumi over the middle, incomplete. 3rd down and 6. Vegas looking for another defensive stop with 3:39 to go in the fourth. Salt Lake next week hosts Austin. Austin trying to get to 3-0. It's 21-0 halfway through the third, but Phoenix just got a sack. Lynch on the takedown. And that ball over the middle is caught by Daniel Alvarez for 21 yards on 3rd down. Just 61 passing yards for St. Louis in this game, but that one was clutch. Don't forget, coming up tonight, Dakota at Minnesota. The unbeaten defending champs, the Rhinos, at their rival from the great Northwest. Eric Vincent and John Warren on the call of that one. Then Los Angeles at San Diego. That is Tyler Falk and Ramos Lynn on the call for that one. The primetime games so far this season have not disappointed. As the handoff goes to McCray, first down for St. Louis as they try to put this one away. Vegas still has all 3 timeouts. 3rd down and 23 for Austin. Deep shot, Ronnie, pass incomplete. What a hit on the back end for Phoenix's defense, and the Skyhawks get another stop. Chicago is on the New Orleans 23-yard line following the safety. That was a big hit from Jared Beasley, the free safety. Chicago's down to the 15-yard line, but we're watching St. Louis right now. Another shanked punt from Austin. They are not putting Phoenix away right now, kind of playing with their food in the 3rd quarter. Timeout Vegas. It's 2nd down and 8. They're starting to burn their timeouts now with 2:18 to go in the 4th quarter. Rob Crone on a 2nd and 9. He took a shot. Terrell Cooper has nowhere to go, picking up just 3. 2nd down and 8, St. Louis. Can Vegas get another stop and get the football back? Turned over on downs the last timeout. They're going to get a stop there, so now it's 3rd and 4 for St. Louis. 2nd and inches for Phoenix. Just 16 rushing yards for the Skyhawks today. They run a little delayed draw, and Simeon is dropped. 12 yards on 12 carries, looks like week 1. After 84 yards last week, Adam Wiseman's pass to the end zone caught. 11-yard score on a jump ball. And that one is caught over the middle for Angel Maldonado. Look at this jump ball catch for Chicago. Upper left-hand corner, Amos Huval. Angel Maldonado, by the way, his first catch of the day. And when St. Louis needed it the most, their passing attack stepped up, and now Vegas is out of timeouts with 2:08 to go. New York's defense gets a stop. 10-10 there in a battle of unbeatens. And 9 is now off the board. So 9-0 Chicago over New Orleans. It's Chicago flipping the script. They have been outscored in first quarters 35-3 so far this season, and they have a 9-0 lead thanks to the safety. New Orleans has ran just 1 offensive play. Phoenix had to punt again with 2:56 to go in the 3rd quarter. We're stuck on 21-0 there. 2 minutes to go. It's 3rd down and 10 now for St. Louis at the 35-yard line. Can Vegas get a stop? Hand off McCray. They cannot. McCray up the middle, picked up 10, and that might just do it. 26 carries, 112 yards for Junior McCray. Vegas stopped on the goal line on 4th and goal on a pass knocked away by Dynamite. Jupiter Jennings, nice patient run there, gets a first down for New York, and Vegas never got the football back. Shy Ronnie's been running it a lot today. Well, I guess that's their 3rd carry for 25 yards. Keezy Vert, get this on DraftKings. I'm telling you, man. We would love to we can set odds for this thing. The analytics are there. We just need a sportsbook partner as the handoff goes to Ray Chapatula, spinning again. Ray is on fire. 218 yards last week. 219 rather, don't want to shortchange her, and that's a monster run for Ray to start this one. And St. Louis is now in victory formation. They have now won back-to-back games at home, 14-9 over Rochester and 14-10 over Vegas to improve to 2-1. That defense is the real deal. Your bingo numbers are about to come back onto the screen as St. Louis takes their final kneel downs. Riverman 14 and the Devils 10. Ray Chapatulas past midfield near a first down for New Orleans, and the run game is working so far there. Mike Woodstone, 20 carries, 106 yards, and a touchdown for Austin. They are across midfield. New Orleans is across the 50, 2nd down and 1 with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Emmanuel Blackman is their quarterback, and that should be enough for a first down. Blackman last week, 17 of 22 243 yards, a touchdown, and a pick, and actually was ruled not enough for a first down. So a 3rd and inches coming up. Nobody scores in the fourth quarter, and Vegas St. Louis as the Rivermen play their style. And don't allow Vegas to come back like they did last week. Vegas has played 3 straight one-score games to start the season. Mika Friday with the reception for Austin, but short of the stick. 2nd down and 4 for the Lone Stars coming up. Friday's got 4 catches for 41 yards. You see there, just 207 total yards of offense in St. Louis's win. They averaged 3.8 yards a play, but they kept it clean, did not turn the ball over. Homer J gets in the end zone. That was the difference for St. Louis. All right, so we're now back in the triple box. There's your updated bingo numbers. We've had 23 called numbers today, as Mike Woodstone will take the handoff and pick up the first down. We've started the fourth quarter in Austin. We're still 4 minutes and 2 seconds in the second quarter in New York. Miami brings some pressure. It is picked up. Joe Francis's pass is caught to the 28-yard line. Haven't had a lot of chance to focus on New York and Miami, but so far this game has lived up to the billing between a pair of unbeaten teams. Joe Francis last week, 17-26, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. It's going to be 4th and 2 for New Orleans. Let's go to Austin, where the Lone Stars in the fourth quarter are trying to put Phoenix away. They've been a little quiet in the second half. Well, let's hold on everything. 4th and 2. New Orleans is going for it here. On the Chicago 36-yard line, Emmanuel Blackman sends Dylan Garday, the tight end, in motion. New Orleans handing it off to Ray, and they got a first down as the Claws mean business. They don't want to have to settle too early in this game. Maxwell makes the tackle. Now let's go to New York, where the Lightning are in scoring position. Jupiter Jennings takes a handoff around the left side, getting to the 17-yard line. 31 yards on 9 carries so far early for him. That one from Blackman nearly intercepted. Mike Woodstone takes the handoff and gets to the 24-yard line. That'll set up a 4th down and 2. So Phoenix gets a somewhat stop, keeps it a 3-score game, assuming Austin will kick a field goal, which would be from 41 yards away. Scott on the carry for New Orleans. Ray's backup picks up 12 yards to the 18-yard line. That's another first down, and New Orleans is in the red zone. New York is in the red zone. Austin is near the red zone. They will settle for the field goal from 41 yards out to make it 24-0. A 41-yarder for Austin is good, but it remains a 3-score game somehow, some way in Austin. 2-minute warning in New York. We're tied at 10. Handoff, Chapatulis down to the 11-yard line. Marked officially at the 10. 44 yards for her in the opening quarter. She has honestly been the best running back in the league, I think, up to this point. Down to the 5-yard line. That is a first down for New York, and New Orleans is down to the 1. Might we have another 1-yard touchdown today? Scott on his second carry up to 22 yards. First and goal for New York at the 5. 5 is not off the board so far. Joe Francis looking. Francis, end zone, touchdown, New York Lightning. From 5 yards out, Eden Hart with the catch. First and goal at the 1 for New Orleans. Emmanuel Blackman trying to get on the board. Blackman looking to the end zone. That is a touchdown, New Orleans. So Eden Hart with the score, and then for New Orleans, that is Michael Osbury in the end zone. So 5 is your next called number. We've now had 25 called numbers on the gauntlet here today. New York's extra point is good, so they go up 17-10 with 1:34 to go in the first half. New York makes it 9-7, or New Orleans rather, a 13-play, 77-yard drive for the Claws on their first real drive of the day that takes 5 minutes and 30 seconds left, or 5:30 off the clock. 9:23 to go. Phoenix is in the no huddle. Down 24-0, and Joe Tillo just threw a pick. Well, that's no good. Brent Owen with the interception. No good for Phoenix, that is, as the shutout continues, and Tillo has thrown interception number 3. Where is Tillo throwing that? They may want to, Phoenix may want to look at Tillo's stance on trying to squeeze a ball into a tight window. They may want to make him a little bit more conservative to just cut down on the turnovers, at least in the short term. That is a tough pass there. It has been all Austin all the time today as Mike Woodstone picks up 6 more, up to 125 yards, averaging about 5 yards a carry. That pass was almost taken to the house by New York. Adam Wiseman has the Chicago Dragon offense loose. I've been at this too long. First down for Chicago. Good tackle there in the open field made by Phoenix's defense. It's 3rd down and 5. 3rd down coming up for Miami, and New York calls a timeout to try to get the football back with 1:25 seconds left. My cup does not say Bish. It says Kamish. Miami 3rd down and 14. Rob Crone needs an answer. Had to check it down because Michaela Foraker was just getting there in the backfield, just like New Orleans. Shembo gets the sack. Adam Wiseman dropped for a 5-yard loss. Yeah, Sansbino, I can't wrap my head around it either. I mean, the only thing I will say is that, the talent around the league has gotten significantly better. And, if you're Phoenix, it's time to start winning some boosts, winning some bingos, and making some improvements to the roster, making your players better. Obviously it's game plan too. I'm not saying it's not, but last season, Phoenix a playoff team, but 16 of 26, no touchdowns, 3 picks for Joe Tillo. It has been a tough start to the season for Phoenix. But good news, there's a lot of season left, and we're not going anywhere. And it's still a ball game, a 3-score game here for Phoenix. 7:36 to go in the 4th quarter. Austin really has not done much in the second half. Offensively, Phoenix's defense is clamped down. New York's got 1:05 seconds to go. Chicago and New Orleans have started the second quarter of play. Tillo's going to take off. He's got a 1st down.
Ready? 60 Pittsburgh.
45 seconds to go in the first half for New York. Joe Francis with 1 timeout to work with. Deep shot down the field. That is hauled in and complete down to the Miami 40-yard line. Eden Hart again. 108 passing yards now for New York, and Hart's got 3 catches for 39 yards. Joe Tillo dropping a throw. Dumps it off. 3rd down now for Phoenix. They gotta go. This is Francis, and he was mauled in the backfield. Eventually, it's Graham Jr. with the takedown, and it's 2nd down and 20 now. There's a penalty marker on Austin. That's a face mask. That's going to move Phoenix a little closer. Malik Torrance called for the face mask. Ray Chapatulis is loose again. Top left-hand corner of the screen. Down to the 44-yard line of Chicago, 67 yards on 10 carries. And New York burns their final timeout. Tillo's pass is caught, and now Phoenix is in the red zone. 174 passing yards for the Skyhawks. DR Simeon with his 6th grab for 58 yards, under 6 to go. Phoenix in the no huddle. 2nd down and 2. 5 seconds left for New York. They have no timeouts left. They're just going to run this one out. Robert Henson, another flag on Austin, and it's another 15 yards. So Phoenix getting helped out by Austin, and those penalties are stopping the clock. So 1st and goal at the 7 for Phoenix. 3-score game. As you look at the halftime numbers from New York and Miami, pretty even game right now. Bjorn McLean as Tillo's pass in the end zone, a jump ball for Chris Andrews he can't come down with. But Bjorn McLean, the interception, the difference in that one. Eden Hart with the 5-yard touchdown. 3rd down and 6 for New Orleans. 8:30 to go in the first half. They trail Chicago 9-7. 2nd and goal for Tillo at the 7-yard line of Austin. Looking into a crowd that is off the hands. The intended receiver right at the goal line. An incomplete 3rd down and goal for Phoenix at the 7. What's up, Harvey?
Come on, set. 18 Gators.
4th and 6. New Orleans going to have to punt. We start the second half in New York. 3rd and goal at the 7. That pass is caught, and Phoenix is in the end zone. Touchdown. Skyhawks finally on the board. And it's a surprise hero, Keldrick Moody, the 2nd tight end on the Phoenix roster. And now Phoenix will go for 2 to try to make it a 2-score game. Start of the second half. Oh, Jupiter Jennings just put a man on skates. 77 yards to the house. Touchdown, New York. 2-point conversion, no good for Phoenix. Wells in as the heavy down back and cannot get into the end zone. 2nd and 2, Chicago, they got a 1st down, but Jupiter Jennings erupts and gives New York a 2-score lead. It has been a surprisingly slow day here on the Gauntlet for numbers. We're at 25 called numbers, less than half. But we still have a whole nother half here in New York and 3 more quarters in Chicago and 5.5 to go in Phoenix and Austin. That kick is good. 1 play, 77 yards in 14 seconds. Jupiter Jennings ignites the lightning crowd and gives New York their largest lead of the day. Onside kick for Phoenix, and it is recovered by Austin with 5:29 to go. Chicago on the move to the New Orleans 30-yard line, 6:25 to go in the first half there. Woodstone's got 131 all-purpose yards. And Miami, who really struggled to get Boletsky going in the first half, he had just 80 yards on 25 carries last week, did score a touchdown. And Buck Wild, only 2 catches for 20 yards last week. Rip Cuby, 3 tackles for loss and a sack last week, but we haven't heard much from him today either. Just 15 rushing yards for Miami compared to New York's 162 today. And that is Michaela Foraker with the sack on Rob Crone, a loss of 7. Foraker with the takedown. Oh, now we want bonus numbers out here. Let's wait to see what happens in the next few minutes, and then we'll start throwing out some bonus numbers. Adam Wiseman, that pass is caught down to the 16-yard line for Chicago. 9-7 Dragons on top of the claws. Now 2nd and 17 for Rob Crone, and he almost had that jumped again. Crone just 11 of 21 today. He had 10 incompletions all of last week, and a deep shot for Annie Beaverhausen is caught down to the 19-yard line as Austin tries to milk away the final minutes of that game. Rob Crone on a 3rd down and 17, sacked again. This time it's Rowan Cassidy. And New York gets their first 2 sacks of the game on Miami's first drive of the 3rd quarter after Jupiter Jennings goes 77 yards on the first play for New York's offense of the 3rd quarter. That one is bobbled and caught in Chicago down to the 7-yard line. Denard Byam with the catch. Can we get a replay on that, please? Look at this, upper left-hand corner of your screen. Tipped and turn around and catch it. Miami's got a punt, 3 and out. That was tipped behind by Livingston.
Here we go. 60 outlaw. Set, go. What we got? 2.
Inside the 5-yard line, Chicago's going to have a 1st and goal with 3:42 to go.
Set, 50, plant.
3:10 to go in the 4th quarter. 3rd down and 8 for Austin. And that one is incomplete, so Austin will have to settle for a field goal. Chicago's got a 3-yard rushing touchdown. Jason Williams is into the end zone, and the Dragons now take a 15-7 lead, and that 16 could be coming off the board with a successful extra point. What a catch from Mark Anthony. New York is on fire in the 3rd quarter down to the Miami 34-yard line. And that field goal for Austin is good. That makes it 27-6. Still a 3-score game there. The extra point is good. So 16 comes off the board for Chicago. And that field goal for Austin was a 35-yard kick and makes it 27-6. So 35 and 27 also come off the board. So we add 3 numbers in that segment to your bingo cards as that pass is caught by Anthony at the 2-yard line. In the last 3 minutes, New York has made enough major plays for an entire game, let alone 3 minutes of action here on the Gauntlet. Look at Anthony, sky up to get that one. Looking like Rashad Lockley of yesteryear. Now the ball's at the 2 as New York tries to make this a 21-point margin. Play fake Francis. Francis going to take off and run. Francis, that's not his strength, and he's cut down for no gain. Ray 12 of 71. Joe Tillo got a touchdown on the last drive, but they're still down 3 scores with 2:58 to go in the 4th quarter. 2nd and goal at the 2 for New York. Handoff Jupiter Jennings, touchdown Lightning. They have 2 touchdowns and 2 sacks in 4 minutes in the 2nd half, and they have quickly pulled out to a monster lead over Miami in a stunner. .242 to go in the 1st half in Chicago. Another handoff to Ray, who cuts it left. Extra point coming up for New York, but 31 and 2 were already off the board, so no new numbers there. 31-10, 8:10 to go in the 3rd quarter. Another good pass from Tillo down the field to the Austin 46-yard line. That's DR Simeon once again. Emmanuel Blackman dumps that one off. Chapatulis is cut down at the 2-minute warning at the 31-yard line. 2:10 to go in the 4th quarter. That ball is caught at the 26-yard line for Sansbino. That'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Phoenix on the move again. Just a little too late, too late, it would appear. And Miami's got to figure out how to stop the bleeding, as that one, which was a 17-10 game at the half, has quickly spiraled out of control. Next week, Phoenix will host Minnesota. They'll get some scouting done tonight when Minnesota takes on Dakota in the coast-to-coast game, the first of two primetime doubleheaders coming up at 6 p.m. Eastern. Tillo on a floater just threw another interception. And Joe Tillo's pass is being taken back the other way. And a man is missed. And Austin's got another pick six. Wow. Taken back by Randy Parker. And now 34 is in play on your YOUFL cards as that one was just snatched away. And this lineman got juked out of his shoes. 1:24 to go in the first half. Chicago up 16-7. They're trying to get some more points up on the board before the break. New Orleans has been quiet since that 5.5-minute touchdown drive. 3rd down and 4 for Rob Crone. 7:40 to go third quarter. That one is incomplete. Crone is 12 of 24, and now Miami's got to punt it again. The extra point for Austin is good, and 34 is off the board. That is now 29 called numbers. $7:39 to go in the third quarter. Miami will punt it away. We've got 2 blowouts right now in the Gauntlet. 34-6 Austin, 31-10 New York, which is, at least from a records perspective, the bigger surprise. Chicago has a 16-7 advantage with 55 seconds to go in the first half. It's a 3rd down and 10 as New Orleans looks for a stop. Jennings with his first run since the long touchdown run. That won't pick up much. Tillo 27 of 41, but has 4 picks. I mean, the completion percentage is not that bad. But the turnovers continuing to kill Phoenix. And if it makes anyone feel any better, statistically, when you have 16 teams in a league, you have 8 that go 0-1. You have 4 that go 0-2. You have 2 that go 0-3. Statistically, someone's got to go 0-3. And so far this season, it looks like that's Rochester and Phoenix, 2 playoff teams from last season. 3rd down and 6. As Joe Francis's pass is caught. Mark Anthony is open again. Miami just has not shown up in the second half. 351 yards for New York. It's been all lightning. 47 seconds and 3 timeouts for New Orleans at the 13-yard line as Emmanuel Blackman fires. That is complete to the 29. That's Devin Sparks. Under a minute to go in Austin. That pass is caught over the middle from Tillo down to the 15-yard line. That's Sansbino again, who's had a great game. Tillo has now 30 completions, and Sansbino up over 100 yards and 9 grabs. Joe Tillo, touchdown, 15 yards away. Another dupe. And in the no huddle, some players with some fatigue. That ends up being Kyler Piper with the touchdown grab for Phoenix. How about this? We'll take that 15-yard touchdown and we'll triple it and call 45 as a bonus number. Emmanuel Blackman over the middle. Timeout New Orleans. They have 1 left with 33 seconds left. The extra point is good for Phoenix. And hey, that's 13. That is an actual number. And every number between 9 and 18 have now been called today. .45's not already off the board. You're 45, Robert, but New Orleans down to, they're now at the Chicago 39-yard line. So they have 1 timeout, 10-second runoff. They're going to get a snap off with about maybe 13 seconds left. Can New Orleans get into field goal range here before the break? Joe Francis has New York in the red zone. Blackman, 10 seconds left. Blackman's pass is caught, and New Orleans will, in fact, get into field goal range. It'll be a 34-yarder, which is already off the board, but New Orleans will have a chance to cut the deficit to 3. 31 seconds left. Austin recovers the onside kick, and that may just be it. Shy Ronnie in 3 games has not thrown an interception. She stays clean again today. 16 of 25 for 205 yards. She was not asked to do much today, but Austin is going to hold on to get the win. As they run things out, Phoenix not calling their timeouts in a 3-score game. 34-yard kick is good, and New Orleans cuts the deficit 16-10 at the half with 2 seconds to go. Robert Henson near a first down with 4:08 to go in the third quarter in New York. 3rd down and 1 for the Lightning, who have absolutely dominated this third quarter of play. Oh, Salt Lake had 45 points. That's true. Okay. What do you think, chat? One number up or down? 44 or 46? The first person to tell me which one gets the bonus number. So we'll put 45 actually on the board. "27 runs, 23 passes. One Mississippi wants to go up to 46. So 46 is your bonus number. There's the final stats. Austin and Phoenix, your final score, 34-13. Austin is undefeated at 3-0, and I think New York, as Chicago and New Orleans is going to halftime, New York just kicked a field goal. We'll get the yardage on that field goal here shortly. That was a 25-yard field goal. 25-yard field goal, so 25 is off the board. That is your 34th called number. Well, back to the drawing board for Phoenix and Rochester. They're both 0-3, and they both suffer miserable defeats today. They showed some moments, they showed some flashes, but it just was not enough to come out and get the victory. Miami is left scratching their head. They dominated Dallas in week 1. Then they suffocated Minnesota in week 2. And this third quarter has been the quarter from hell for Miami. 176 rushing yards for New York. And again, Rob Crone tries to force that one over the middle. And, yeah, it's not going to work. So we're back to the double box. Start of the second half in Chicago. And Bovine with the reception will set up a 3rd down and 1 for Miami. His 4th grab for 39 yards. Rob Crone on a 3rd and 1 is going to throw. That is complete. Miami's got a first down. Despite the terrible third quarter, it's still a 3-score game for Miami. Next week on the Game Day Gauntlet, week 4 in the UFL, St. Louis at New Orleans. That could be an interesting game with both teams at times struggling offensively, but we know that they're explosive. Angel Maldonado, Ray Chapatulis. New Orleans put up 39 points last week against Phoenix, so that should be a very interesting contest. Minnesota at Phoenix. Austin at Salt Lake. That is a big one out west. Blackman is thrown down by Parker for a Chicago sack. There goes my desk spoon. As I don't know if the mic even picked that up. Maybe I shouldn't have even said anything. San Diego takes on Miami next week. Miami will be looking to get right. San Diego hoping to get right tonight against Los Angeles. And then Vegas at Wichita is also in the Game Day Gauntlet next week. Rob Crone is going to spin away from traffic, but it's going to be a 4th down. All right, let's see. Let's get a poll going. We're gonna put. Let's put 33, 40, and 47. Let's see what we get. 12 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Miami had to punt that one away to New York. Jennings, 16 carries, 117 yards. New Orleans had to punt it away on their first possession of the 3rd quarter, so Chicago will get the ball back. Adam Wiseman, 14 of 20, 160 yards, a touchdown, and an interception.
Ready? Watch Mike. Right. Check 24. Get it.
Oh, my. You know, it's so funny. Robert Henson's got a 1st down for New York.
Break.
11:35 to go in the 4th quarter, and New York has outscored Miami 17-0 in the 2nd half. Adam Wiseman on a play-action rollout, going to fire for a 1st down to the 31-yard line. Jennings is up over 100 yards today, did not reach that mark last week. Mark Anthony, 5 catches, 134 yards, and a touchdown last week. Jazz Aldmere, 3 catches, 40 yards, and a score. We haven't even said Jazz's name today. Jennings with another run as New York looks to melt this game away.
Ready, set. It's a party. It's a party now. Head up.
And sure, you know, New York is, you know, they're very talented. But if you look last year, Anthony, New York got a lot of boosts last year, too. They had a very unique and special team power-up back when those were a thing. And it didn't necessarily mean that New York got far in the playoffs. They fell to Cincinnati in the quarterfinal round. But they're off to a great start here this week, or this season, no doubt about that. This was their first, you know, I mean, they played San Diego last week. They've got Rochester in primetime next Monday. Boy, that's a huge rivalry game. Those two teams do not like each other. It'll be interesting to see what Rochester can do next week in that big Monday night matchup. Rob Crone picks up 3. Miami's still in this thing. It's still a 3-score game with 9:30 to go in the 4th quarter. They just need a lot to go their way.
54's Mike. Deep river.
Rob Crone is sacked and lost the ball. That looked like a face mask. The sack for New York came by way of Connor Orlando.
On the ball, come on. Let's go, hurry up. Now.
40, oh my gosh, I ended the poll at a tie. Well, guess what? 40 and 47 are 2 bonus numbers. Thanks to the tie in the poll. What was your concern last week, Coco? Or last season? By the way, if you think New York's gotten too many boosts, I did lower the drops price in the boost shop. Go get him. Ray is cut down for no gain. 75 yards on 17 carries. This is a tight one in Chicago. 6:05 to go in the 3rd, and Miami's got a punt again. Emmanuel Blackman, deep ball down the field. That is caught at the 44-yard line. Blackman 11 of 15 for 140 yards. That's Cameron Bailey's first catch of the day, and New Orleans is in business on the Chicago side of the field with 5.5 to go in the third. Emmanuel Blackman dropping a throw. That is Ray Chapatulis picking up 6. 12 of 16 for 145 yards for Blackman off of that catch. 5 minutes to go in the third. I agree, Henson. I agree. Hey, Flash, more boost points coming your way if you want to contribute to UFL.football. Look at Joe Francis taking a deep shot. It's a little bit underthrown and really should have been picked off. That one hung in the air for far too long with 8:08 to go in the fourth quarter. Emmanuel Blackman on a 3rd down and 3 with New Orleans down 6 and takes a sack. Crawford with a takedown, and Chicago's defense gets a stand. Their 2nd sack of the day with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter as Joe Francis off the play fake finds a wide open Mark Anthony. Anthony dominating Miami deep down the field. 413 yards for New York today, and they have been very balanced offensively. Anthony with 7 grabs for 151 yards. He had a $134 last week. And by the time we get the leaderboards updated on the site, Anthony might be leading all receivers through the first 3 weeks. Jack Shorts, you are correct. This is a completely custom, not only custom skin, but custom coded old Madden. So it doesn't play like any Madden you've ever seen. It plays like UFL Madden. 7:30 to go in the fourth quarter as Robert Henson gets the carry up short. Second down and 7, 6:56 to go in the fourth quarter. The handoff goes to Jennings. Jennings, shifty! Jupiter Jennings, 34-yard touchdown! Wow. And New York now has a 40-piece on Miami. This game was 17-10 at the half. Chicago protecting a 16-10 lead with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Oh, now see, Portia thinks she has a bingo on card 14. She is the bingo master. Portia, I don't have a 22. It looks like you need 22. Did I miss a 22 somewhere? Happy to have you here, Jack Shorts. Rapid Raccoon, what are you meaning? The biggest thing in this league is losing. You can't go the distance winning every game. There was some kind of typo I was trying to understand. Jack Shorts, this is custom Madden teams. They were all made by a professional designer, CJ Zilligan. You can find out more information at UFL.football. And that is why all of our teams look so beautiful. So a couple of people need a 22. Chicago's got 16 on the board right now. Adam Wiseman going play action fake. That pass is caught down to the 37-yard line. New Orleans had a 3rd and 2 into Chicago territory, but that sack ended the drive. Doc Holliday with the catch for Miami. 6:36 to go.
56 the mic. Hit it. 56 the mic.
Rob Crone
Let's put that team on the hook.
throws it to Terrell Cooper, and Cooper is picked up and thrown down by his face mask. That's the first wrong thing New York has done today. Chicago on a little bubble screen down to the 10-yard line as we improved the run blocking of wide receivers across the board in the offseason so we could get explosive plays like that. K. Marion continues to be one of the best receivers in the league. A great pickup for Chicago as the Dragons fight for their first victory of the season. Rob Crone into New York territory and sacked. Michaela Foraker's second.
Hey, let's go. Get the check.
No huddle for Miami with 5:55 to go in the fourth quarter. Crone dumps it off. Beletsky, who's been taken out of the game plan in the second half because they've fallen behind. Adam Wiseman, check down, picks up 4 yards. Down to the 4. New Orleans needs a big-time stop. 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. Rob Crone firing down the middle. That pass is caught, and they're now 16 yards away from a touchdown. Terrell Cooper again.
Let's go. Jackrabbit, let's go.
Second and goal at the 4 for Adam Wiseman and the Dragons. Handoff Williams and is popped at the 2. Crone throws it out of bounds, and that is the end of the third quarter in Chicago. A tight one as New Orleans tries to prevent the Dragons from getting into the end zone. A scoreless third quarter leaves it 16-10 Chicago over New Orleans.
Set, ready? 18 Gator.
Rob Crone into the end zone. A 16-yard touchdown pass is complete to number 80, and Williams has a 2-yard run for the score. So touchdown Miami and touchdown Chicago on back-to-back plays. And for Miami, that is Lyle Green. And Miami, that's back-to-back weeks that really not a superstar player is getting a catch. But, of course, in this instance, it was a no-huddle situation and fatigue comes into play. Oh, Chicago's going for 2, folks. If they don't get it, 22 gets off the board, and it is caught in the back of the end zone, so it's 24-10. That is bingo heartbreak. Chicago gets the 2-point try. Byleth Thomas, who's been kind of quiet today for Chicago, makes it 24-10 and rips the 22 away from the hearts of the bingo players in the chat. Miami's extra point is good, 41-17 with 5:01 to go. You see what happens in the chat is once I know that you need just one number, I can't just give it to you, because then people would say, well, that shows favoritism, right, or bias, or then they call me all sorts of mean names, right? So at this point, it's up to fate. And the onside kick from Miami recovered by New York. So New Orleans is down 2 touchdowns now, but it's still anyone's ball game with 11:48 to go in the fourth quarter. Look at Jennings in the first half, 10 for 29. In the second half, 10 for 128. .450 yards for New York, just 223 for Miami. Blackman's got to get things moving for New Orleans. That pass is in and out of the hands over the middle. Just the 5th incompletion. If you're asking for my favorite number is 3. And that was called a long time ago.
Watch safety creep. Watch safety creeping. Safety's creeping.
Ray takes a low snap. Chicago all over that one. So a 3rd down and 11 coming up. Chicago's done a pretty good job on Ray in the second half. She's still sitting at 75 yards. as Henson Jr. takes a draw. It'll be third down, playing out the stretch in New York. A surprising blowout. It all happened in the third quarter for New York. They scored 21 straight points, and they scored 14 extremely quickly when it was 17-10 at the break. Third down and 11 for New Orleans. What do they got here? Blackman. Clean pocket. Blackman going to take off and run, and not quite enough. Now decision time for New Orleans. A 4th and 3 with 10:30 to go. Francis just throws that one into the turf, and Miami will get the football back. New Orleans is going for it, folks. 4th down and 3 with 10 minutes to go. Blackman's pass is caught. Caught at the Chicago 42-yard line. Dylan Gameday with the catch, and New Orleans survives a potential game-changing turnover. And they're still on the move. Emmanuel Blackman dropping to throw. Checks it down to the 35-yard line. Rob Crone trying to get some more points on the board for Miami. That was probably Crone's best play of the day, and it's a fumble recovery by Cain Vasquez, number 49. And you know what? I'll give out 49 as a bonus number for that tremendous play from Cain Vasquez. An absolute dart from Crone, and then Bovine with the reception. It was jarred loose from the backside. It looked like by Bridwell, and then Cain Vasquez jumps on it. It has been New York's second half. Blackman inside the 20 down to the 17-yard line, and New Orleans is going to keep this interesting. 4 catches, 55 yards for Devin Sparks, the pickup from Denver. New Orleans is in the red zone, down 24-10. Three minutes to go in the fourth quarter. New York playing out the stretch. Another draw to Robert Henson. Clock will continue to roll there. This is Blackman. Pass caught, and a nice tackle made at the 2-yard line to prevent the touchdown. Michael Osbury with 4 catches, 36 yards, and a score today, as New Orleans again starts knocking on that door. Jupiter Jennings, first down, New York. 162 yards on 22 carries for 3 touchdowns for Jupiter Jennings. First down and goal with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. The handoff goes to Ray Ray, and Ray Ray is stuffed. Now under 4 yards a carry. Chicago really clamping down on the claws in the second half. Ray Ray's in the backfield. 2-minute warning in New York. This is Blackman straight back. Fires it. Caught. Touchdown. From 2 yards out. That is another New Orleans receiver with a reception today. Brandon Worley, tight end 2. They're dangerous down here on the goal line. Miami will not call their timeouts. Henson's up to 81 rushing yards as New York plays out the final minutes of that game. They're going to improve to 3-0. They got Rochester next week in Monday Night Primetime, and then they'll host Phoenix on the Gameday Gauntlet to kick off Week 5. So a pair of winless teams next up for New York on the schedule, but then on UFL Coast to Coast on Sunday, May 3rd, New York hosts Austin in what some would say might be the 2 best teams in the league so far this season. New Orleans extra point is good. 24-17, 7:28 to go. We got a nail-biter to wrap things up here on the Gameday Gauntlet today. Down to 33 seconds to go in New York. An impressive victory for the Lightning, who basically led wire to wire. Miami did tie this game at 10. That's QB and Murdoch with the tackle. But quiet day surprisingly, from QB and Buck Wild, who got a lot of boosts in the last couple of weeks in Miami. But it did not help them today against New York. Look at Adam Wiseman's numbers today. 20 of 26, 217 yards, a touchdown, and no interception. He's got the Dragons up 7 with 7:25 to go as Chicago, looks for win number 1 of the season. New York and Miami has gone final. "24 carries, 166 yards, and 3 touchdowns for Jupiter Jennings today, who just goes off." Jason Williams breaking off a tackle, and now it's a critical 3rd down and 5 coming up for New Orleans. 245 on the ground, 222 through the air for New York today. Miami had 234 through the air, but only 19 rushing yards. They have got to get Boletsky going, and they got to do it fast. First down for Byleth Thomas on his 4th catch for 54 yards near midfield. For Miami coming up, Miami hosts San Diego next week. That's going to be a tough one. And then Miami's in Monday night primetime against Vegas, who's played everybody close. Then Miami hosts Dakota Sunday, May 3rd. That is here on the Gameday Gauntlet. 6:12 to go in the 4th quarter. New Orleans looking for a stop. They're down by 7. They almost threw a pick. Oh, you got to come down with that one. Anthony Claiborne had a chance for New Orleans. Jason Williams is dropped, and now it's going to be a 3rd down there. We lost, what happened here? We lost our last game. Hold on just a minute. Hold on. I got you. There we go. All right, it's back now. And Chicago, you didn't miss anything. Chicago at a 4th and 7. There's the 3rd down stop for New Orleans. 5:32 to go. Those bingo numbers are wrong. Let me get that cleaned up for you. All right, there we go. There's your correct numbers on the screen. New Orleans gets a stop. The final game here of the Gameday Gauntlet today, and look at Emmanuel Blackman's numbers. 18 of 24, 213 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, has played great today. As Blackman drops to throw. That's a 1st down and more up to the 34-yard line. 2:27 for New Orleans' new signal caller. The Claws with a win would get to 2-1. Michael Osbury with his 5th catch. New Orleans is in the no huddle. Blackman underneath. That pass is incomplete. Now it's 2nd and 10. The next amount of yardage that occurs in this game that is not a called bingo number will be your next bonus number. Whatever that yardage is. Right now we're at the 34. 2nd down and 10. Blackman on a check down, and that's not going to get much. It's a -1. Anybody got a -1 on their card? 3rd and 11. Hey, it could be 8 yards. I'm just saying, it's anything is possible. 3rd and 11, 4:40 to go. They're going to hand it off to Champatulis. What? Why would New Orleans do that? Another loss of 1. 4th and 12. I think if you're New Orleans, you got to go for it. But what kind of 3rd and 11 call? That's just a simple handoff. I haven't seen that out of any team all season long. That is not what New Orleans was looking for there, and then now it's 4-down territory. New Orleans is going to punt and play defense, which I can't hate the decision. 4:08 to go. No, I cannot count the punt yardage.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Adam Wiseman in the second half, 7 of 10 for 75 yards.
Come on, set. 90, Wolf. Switch up, switch up.
4:03 to go in the fourth. Wiseman drops to throw. That pass is caught for a gain of 13 yards. 13 has been called, but a first down for Chicago as New Orleans is desperate for a stop.
Go, go. 10 too soft. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Jason Williams lost one, and we've had 3 one-yard losses since I put this challenge out there. You know, if at any point the AI does something bad, a wild Joseph Clausen will appear. What's up, guy? Hasn't said anything all day. We have not had a single weird AI thing all day. Why? Because we're awesome. And one thing happens, and Guy Clausen is like, hey, I'm here. What the heck, AI? What'd you do? Unbelievable. Adam Wiseman, play fake, pass incomplete. And now it's 3rd and 11. This is New Orleans' moment right here.
Let's go. 60 outlaw. It's 59. Mike to 59.
Will the Claws get a stop? Wiseman drops to throw. Wiseman deep down the field. That pass is caught for first down. And that is 24 yards on the catch. 24 is already off the board. 5th catch for Byleth Thomas and a Chicago first down. I'm not salty. I'm just saying it's just funny how it happens that way. I just want Guy to respond. I just want him to acknowledge that I'm correct on that.
Ready, ready.
2:15 to go in the fourth quarter. New Orleans' strategy of punting it away has not been effective. They need a turnover, and they need one badly. That's a 2-yard pickup and a timeout for New Orleans. They got to get the ball back, block a field goal or something. The Claws right in this thing all day, but they did start the game, giving up a safety that put them down 2-0, and Chicago scored, made it 9-0, and they kind of been digging themselves out ever since. As Williams takes another handoff. Wait, hold on just a second. Did that pick up 4 yards? It picked up 5. 5 is off the board already. 3rd and 4 at the 23. 2:02 to go.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming. Oh, yeah, I'm coming. 5.
Yeah, it just goes till the end now. Wiseman's pass is caught. That is a completion of 7. That is a 7-yard pickup. 7 is already off the board. 24-17 Chicago. We've hit the 2-minute warning. New Orleans has 1 timeout, and they still can't get a first down. Or third down stop, I should say. Chicago trying to put this one away. Wiseman from 16 yards away completes that pass for 5 yards. And it's 2nd and 5 at the 11. New Orleans burns their last timeout. I'm watching the yard marker. I'm watching the yard marker. I can't give you the 4. I'm watching the I'm watching the up in the upper right-hand corner, the little number changing. 2nd and 5 at the 11. Wiseman on a draw. Jason Williams picks up 6. 1st and goal at the 5. 1:45 to go. Now, I don't know that Chicago will kneel here because of the weird 4th down logic stuff. They might kneel on 2nd down. We'll see here. 1st and goal at the 5. Toss. Williams, touchdown, Chicago. And an extra point will make it 31-17, but we'll give 32 as a bonus number for being as close to 31 as possible. Looks like the Dragons will hold on. 1:12 to go in the fourth quarter. Don't forget, coming up in about an hour and 15 minutes from now, we've got a pair of rivalry matchups from 2025 as Dakota visits Minnesota. Eric Vincent and John Warren on the call, and then Los Angeles at San Diego. Tyler Falk and Ramos Lynn on the call. Should be two great games. Minnesota's got some ugly weather tonight. Going to be heavy rain in that one. Slugfest. I'm not sure who that favors because both teams like to muddy it up. Maybe Dakota, I guess. And then Los Angeles at San Diego. Should be a beautiful night in California for what was one of the best rivalries last season. Los Angeles a little quieter than they were last year. Not a lot of locker room drama like they had in 2025. Well, they're still a very talented team. And, you know, New Orleans might not win today, but Emmanuel Blackman had a great day. 20 of 27 for 226. He kept it clean. 1:08 to go and no timeouts for the Claws. Blackman over the middle. That is complete to the 46-yard line. That's a 17-yard pickup thrown down Devin Sparks.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
37 called numbers today. Emmanuel Blackman deep down the field. That one is knocked out of the hands and incomplete. I thought we might have had a big number there. .42 seconds left. Chicago 31, New Orleans 17. Back to throw, Blackman. Blackman on a check down, lost 2. 34 seconds left. 3rd and 12, New Orleans, and they're just not making it down the field fast enough. I got a DM from Ernest McCrader, the broadcast. My bad. That was way back when he thought it was a 13-yard score. That's funny. 3rd and 12, 34 seconds to go from the 44-yard line. Blackman's pass is incomplete. Now it's 4th down, New Orleans. This might be your last shot at a bingo, folks, here. 4th and 12. What's the numbers? Anybody one away? One away right now? Blackman 4th and 12. To keep the game going, the pass is caught. It is a pickup of 16. 16 is the yardage complete to Gameday, and New Orleans will get one more play. Blackman fires it again down the field. That is caught for a 24-yard gain. And that is the end of it. Chicago hangs on for victory number 1 of the season. Both New Orleans and Chicago fall to 1-2. Jason Williams, 22 carries, 77 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 numbers that have not been called yet. Give me a number, chat, between 1 and 13. I'll accept the first 2 numbers. Give me a number between 1 and 13. Eight. All right. So in reverse, all right, 8 and 9. 8 and 9 are the first ones we got. So we go from reverse order: 48, 44, 43, 42, 39, 37, 33, 29. 29 and 28 are your 2 bonus numbers. It was all the numbers that hadn't been called, and then I reversed the order. 29 and 28 are the last 2 bonus numbers of the night. Here's your final scores from today. Salt Lake over Rochester, 45-20, and that really got away from the Pioneers. 14-10, St. Louis wins nail-biter over Vegas to drop the Devils to 1 and 2. Austin all over Phoenix today, 34 to where am I at? 34-13. New York beats Miami. I should not have looked at this paper. 41-17, and then Chicago on top of New Orleans, 31-17. Coming up on Coast to Coast, Dakota, Minnesota, LA, San Diego, and Wichita, Dallas coming up tomorrow night. Hey, reset your cards. Horizontal wins on Coast to Coast, and the cards do not reset after the first game. So you get the first game and the second game. Horizontal wins. We'll see you back here in about an hour. I'm so sorry that Bingo was so cruel to you today. I really did want y'all to get, I want y'all to win. Just, you know, I got to keep things interesting. For everyone here at the UFL, the Virtual Football Network, I'm UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine saying we'll see you back here for Coast to Coast coming up at 6 p.m. Eastern. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching this presentation of the Virtual Football Network and the UFL.